Aboriginal activists who expected the African National Congress leader to take up the cause of black Australians during his visit have been disappointed. Howard.
Everywhere he goes, the message is the same, and it's the message they all want to hear.
Apartheid is doomed. South Africa shall be free.
Your fight against apartheid is our fight against apartheid, and we hope you will never forget it.
And the message they give back to him is the same the world over.
Nelson, we welcome you here today, not simply as a distinguished visitor to our country, but we welcome you as a modern-day hero whose personal struggle and personal achievements have been admired by so many Australians.
Looking at that, it's hard to believe just 8 months ago, Nelson Mandela was serving his 27th year in prison for belonging to what was allegedly a terrorist organisation. Today, he's a celebrity, feted on every continent by the world's leaders.
You now know who I am. I am a Yankee. I consider myself an honorary Irishman from Soweto.
By now, Nelson Mandela is probably an honorary citizen of most of those countries he's visited. Who knows, maybe Bob Hawke will even make him an honorary Australian. But the one thing he'll never be is an honorary Aborigine, because the people who struggled for his cause for so many years in this country say he's sold them down the creek for a few $1 million.
The reality of what Mandela and the ANC are going to be doing in Australia in the next 3 days is that it amounts to hypocrisy. It's as simple as that.
Gary Foley has been an Aboriginal activist for 20 of those 27 years Mandela spent in prison. To Foley, Mandela was a hero and his cause a great one until this visit. So it seems extraordinary that he and other Aborigines should now be saying Mandela is a hypocrite.
The ANC and Mandela are turning their backs on the people who supported them, and they are in essence sucking up to the people who hated and despised them when he was in jail. They're dealing with people who used words like terrorists and communists for the ANC when Nelson Mandela was in jail, and they're going to be rubbing shoulders with people who are very much bandwagon jumpers when it comes to the cause of the ANC. Now, that in anybody's terms is political hypocrisy.
The crux of the issue is Mandela's refusal to comment on Aboriginal issues. The Aborigines see this as blatant betrayal. Mandela has a different way of explaining it.
Well, we do not wish to get involved in the internal affairs of every country.
So ordinary Australians understand your struggle and they sympathise with it. They recognise the fundamental evil of the system of apartheid and the moral bankruptcy of successive South African governments which have upheld it.
He's made a terrible error of judgment in coming to Australia in the manner in which he has done, and we would have hoped that he would have made a statement whilst he was here about the treatment of Aboriginal people.
Another long-time Aboriginal activist, Michael Mansell, was the lone voice of protest outside Parliament House when Mandela arrived this morning.
What about Aborigines, Mr Mandela? Why doesn't someone say something about the Aboriginal people in this country?
While Foley and many other Aborigines boycotted today's events, Mansell believed there had to be a token protest.
What's wrong with Aboriginal people, Eddie?
Well, you don't seem to be getting much support there, Michael.
It doesn't really matter. All we're intending to do is to show up the hypocrisy of this visit. It doesn't matter whether the Australian government, the leader of the opposition, or Nelson Mandela or the ANC tries to shove this issue under the carpet. As a matter of principle, they are prostituting themselves in the eyes of all Indigenous people around the world who are having the same struggle as the Indigenous people in South Africa.
And here, one of life's stranger encounters, as Mansell tries to explain to a black South African TV crew what he's on about. They were clearly confused.
Are you members of the Aborigines?
Yes, I'm an Aborigine and I'm a National Secretary of the Aboriginal Provisional Government.
Enter Bruce Ruxton.
There is another side to the black question, and surely the Australian people should have that side put to them.
We know politics makes strange bedfellows, but who would have dreamt that activists like Foley and Mansell would ever be sharing the sheets with the likes of Ruxton?
Here we have Mandela, a communist, and he wrote that book, How to Be a Good Communist, We have a man that served 27 years in jail for planning terrorist and atrocities in that country, and he leads an organisation as the African National Congress, one of the worst organisations on earth for atrocities. It would pale the IRA and the PLO. And here we are lauding a man that has not even been voted into office.
I feel sorry for Bruce Ruxton.
It'll be interesting to see whether Mr Hawke dismisses the views of Aboriginal leaders in the same fashion. They've called for a boycott on meetings with Nelson Mandela unless he publicly supports the Aboriginal causes. And the chances of that?
Pigs might fly too.
Howard Gibbs reporting. Nelson Mandela is being accorded the same treatment as a head of state by the federal government. And Australian taxpayers will pick up the tab for his